Happy weekend, nerds! Welcome back. We missed a week last week of Anime Streaming Showcase, but we're back this week. We're back with a brand new episode, so let's just jump right into it. And we're going to talk about Your Lie in April. Your Lie in April is Kosei Aruna's redemption story. It's a story of trauma and overcoming past horrors and mental blocks that prevented him from his passion of playing piano. But at first glance, you wouldn't think that, given its character design and its colorful look. But don't dismiss it, though. Your Lie in April is a series that demands your attention while watching, and it hides a dark and potentially depressing series of events in its 22 episode length. Kosei Arima is a musical genius and has been winning awards and accomplishments, while other kids his age were only beginning to grasp the simpler details. But that fame and talent came at a price, as his home life was less than dreamy. A privileged mommy's boy, Kosei was demanded to be the best, and he worked tirelessly to try and prove his worth. His mother passed at a young age, and he moved to live with his childhood friend, Tsubaki Sawabe. She encourages him to take back up the piano, as she knows he loves it, and she loves hearing his playing. But he's reserved in doing so, given his past. When you start introducing a couple more characters into the fray, mainly Kaori Miyazono, and have a cast that hits most of the standard archetypes for a series like this, Sabake is the all too familiar girl next door, while Kaori is the mysterious but same talented musical prodigy as Kosei, and you have a recipe of drama, love triangles, or in instances of Your Love in April, a love polygon, and teenagers acting a little bit out of their normal emotional and maturity level for most kids their age. The average age between most of the cast is about 15, but you could think these kids are late college age by their actions, their confessions of love and angst. It's not a deterrent, it's just a comment on the semi-unbelievability of an otherwise grounded and familiar world. At least Kosei and Kaori's motivations and drive are valid given Japan's landscape of intensely competitive upbringings. It's no secret how much pressure is pushed on youth in Japan in regards to academics, extracurricular activities, etc. Kosei's mother, on the other hand, might have went a tad bit overboard, but in the context of the general country, it's not uncommon. Stage moms and dads even exist in the US. It's just not an entirely insular idea to Japan, but it's important to understand the veracity that it has there. But the bulk of Your Lie in April is the music and its showcase. Kosei's drive, his friends' hard works to get him back into doing what he's desperately loved for so long. Unfortunately, the pacing of Your Lie in April could be a turnoff for a number of viewers, as some episodes will devote an entire episode to just a single composition. It's interspersed with monologues and a revelation for the character of that episode. And these episodes are not bad, but as a whole, especially when watched in a marathon session, you can carefully see the extra bits drawing out a little bit too much. That doesn't mean the series is a drag most of the time. It's just some scenes really could have been shortened or cut to lessen the gap between the really great and the really poignant moments that Your Lie in April hides. Additionally, it's expecting a little bit from its audience in terms of knowing particular pieces and compositions and how they should be played. Early on in the series, Kaori is playing an accompaniment piece, and while it sounds incredibly fine and unique and distinct to me, the judges of that performance are outraged that she's going off the book. Luckily, there's that good old exposition from the judges and the crowds to help us understand that this is a free spirit that Kaori is, and she's doing it wrong. Angst, depression, trust, betrayal, all the teenage tropes we've come to expect are present in Your Lie in April. They're undercut with scenes that border on brutal, then almost immediately cheered up with offbeat comedy. It won't be the first time I say this, and it certainly won't be the last, I'm sure. But comedy is an entirely different beast in Japan than in Europe or even America. A lot of Japanese comedy is based on puns or wordplay or reactionary and specific dialects of the language that simply do not translate into another language. So oftentimes the licensor, when bringing it over to America, will try and adapt the jokes and the comedy to better match that country's standard. Your Lie in April's dubbing is certainly well done, and each actor brings life to each, but the comedic bits simply fall flat 90% of the time due to errors in translation or simply just not making sense in the context. But on the other hand, the dramatic moments, as heavy-handed or perhaps as dreary as they may be, are excellent. Confessions and heartbreaks, monologues, they're all expertly handled and voiced, really helping believe in these characters and wanting them to get what they desire. I want them to succeed. Don't get me wrong, I'm an incredibly cynical person, and whenever I hear teenage kids confess love and all these feelings and emotions that they understand but haven't fully grasped due to just not fully maturing, I cannot help but roll my eyes. It's a lot of reasons why I can't watch most teenage demographic shows. They're talking about themes that are written by adults that are trying to apply to their lives but are ultimately applying to the adults' lives, wishing they could go back in time to sort of handle a situation differently. And it just doesn't feel genuine. It doesn't feel like this is really a teenager saying this. This is someone who's playing a teenager is saying all of this, and it just doesn't work for me. But this show with Your Lie in April, it allows us to think maybe some teens are a little bit more mature than others and ready for segments of adult life. It's a unique beast in that idea. Your Lie in April was the show of 2015 that everyone was enjoying and everyone was talking up. And I kind of missed the boat on it a little bit. I was late to the party. And I'm happy everybody got to experience what the hype is about. It didn't necessarily match the same levels I guess I was expecting from reviews and previews that everyone was hyping it up. But I do think that there is something special in Your Lie in April. I do think the pacing and character issues are a little off, but the dubbing and the overall story was really engrossing, and most of the time it was captivating. I didn't weep and sob like I know some people did when the credits rolled, but again, cynical. But there is something about Your Lie in April that sort of stands out against your typical shows you may watch. So I definitely think it's recommendable on that aspect. It is available in subbed or dubbed on Netflix, and it's only subbed on Hulu and Crunchyroll. You can find it on nearly any avenue that you wish to pursue. There's really no excuse to pass it up if you really want a heartfelt, relatively grounded teenage drama built around music, classical music, pianos, and things like that. So Your Lie in April, I definitely think it is a stream-worthy show. I would say maybe not in a marathon session though, maybe once a week or maybe a couple episodes a day. I wouldn't try to ingest all of it at once. I don't think that was the impact that the creators were going for. They wanted something that was sparsed out over the weekly release rather than indulging all at once. So there we are, brand new episode of Anime Streaming Showcase. As always, you guys are the best for tuning in. Leave comments, do all that fun stuff. Any advice, any recommendations. Again, I've got a huge backlog and it's growing literally every day. There's always something that's coming up on the internet that is just like, please watch me, and I am trying to make time for it. It's just so much out there. But again, I do want to thank the LaserTime crew and LaserTimePodcast.com for allowing me to do all of this great stuff. And I will return next week with a brand new episode of Anime Streaming Showcase. So I will see you then, nerds.